Patriots fans, the time for the talk has ended. NFL Draft Day is here. The 2022 NFL Draft is about to begin. Which way will the Patriots go? Murph and I have you covered. I'm Mike Debate, and you are about to be locked in to a special edition of the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful, and thank you once again for joining us here on this special draft night edition of the Locked On Patriots podcast. The 2022 NFL Draft moments away from kicking in. Folks, it has been a long journey, but we could not culminate this journey without bringing you probably one of the guys most responsible for getting us here. We muse the draft each and every Monday, and folks, I love sharing the microphone with this man. I'm Mike Debate, your host of the Locked On Patriots podcast, of course. You can always find me on Twitter at MDABATENFL. Cover your New England Patriots for Pat's Country of Sports Illustrated. But I am joined tonight, so pleased, so lucky, so fortunate to be joined by the great wisdom and counsel of my great friend here, columnist extraordinaire of E2Gsports.com, the great green man himself, the Count of Murphy Fisto. Thomas Murphy joins me here tonight. Murph, happy draft day, bud.
Happy draft day, man. We finally get to pull back that little square of the last draft of the draft month advent calendar and see what's behind it. It's been too long, man. Guys like us, we sit here and we bleed for this right after the final gun of the Super Bowl. And then it's like, oh, okay, get us to draft. Get us to draft. They give us that little Thanksgiving week moment of the combine week, and that's always a lot of fun. But no, this is it, man. This is what we live for.
This is what we live for. And momentarily, my friend, Roger Goodell, the Senator Pat Geary of Patriots Nation. Folks, if you got that reference, drop us a little line on YouTube or hit me and Murph up on Twitter. We know what that means, and most of our listeners will know as well. Some of you may not, but I encourage you to Google it just in case. He will be waltzing to that podium in Las Vegas, Nevada, to announce the first pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. As I said to open the show, the late, great Gorilla Monsoon always said it best. The time for the talk is just about over. And we've mused the draft here, Murph, every Monday since the Patriots season has ended. It's been a great ride. I can't thank you enough. We've been fortunate here on Locked On Patriots to have some great guests alongside yourself, whether it be Steve Balistreri of PatsFans.com, the Countess of Claz herself, Claire Cooper of Pats Propaganda, Kevin Tame of Sports Illustrated, Mark Schofield of USA Today, the Pats Cap himself, Miguel Benzon, Tanya Ray Fox of FS1, just to name a few. So fortunate to be joined by some great minds as we've all discussed what the Patriots might do in the upcoming NFL Draft. But Murph, you know as well as I do that the Patriots dance to the beat of their own drum. And right now, as we're speaking, they still currently hold that number 21 pick. Estimates have them picking around 10 minutes to 11 on the East Coast. It's probably pretty accurate. That comes from Mike Reese of ESPN, folks, a mind that we all trust very much so here in New England. We've been very vocal about our thoughts. You've been very vocal from day one about where you think the Patriots should go, and you've detailed Georgia's Nakobe Dean as the ideal pick at number 21 for the Patriots. I've agreed with you. As a matter of fact, he was my pick right here on the Locked On Network's Ultimate Mock Draft, which is still available, folks. Encourage you to check that out, even all weekend long as the picks are happening. Check out some of the great work that my colleagues here at Locked On have done. But again, bud, will the Patriots do it? Is this going to be the move that they make? I know we believe it should. Do you believe it's what they will do?
Honestly, no. I don't. I really don't. I think they're going to end up trading back. I think they're going to end up fortifying the offensive line. I'm sorry, folks. I know big fat guys aren't sexy, and it's not what you're looking for. But no, I really don't. This is the pick that they should make because as I laid out in my last column, there's talent to be had in the third and fourth round at on the offensive line that they could bring in here, season up for a year, and could end up being cornerstones of this offensive line for the next 6-7 years. But Nakobe Dean is the pick that I would make. He is the man that I believe is the game changer on the defensive side of the ball that the Patriots desperately need. This isn't something like where you can find a cornerback and use coverage schemes to cover up for some other thing. This is the pick that they need. Over the past 2 seasons, the Patriots have had a terrible time in stopping the run and in dealing with mobile quarterbacks. And as I said, Dean is the kryptonite. Dean is the man that's going to come in here and shut all that down. I will do cartwheels if it happens. There aren't many people who stand with you and me, Mike, but this is the pick. And if they pass on him, we're all going to be saying, this will be my next Stephon Tuitt.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know there's a little bit of dirt on our uniforms for picking Dean here and saying that this is the ideal pick for the Patriots. Obviously, you look at the size, and it's not prototypical. There's no question about it. It's not the cookie cutter, the way the Patriots usually do business.
It's the future.
Devin Lloyd, I think, fits that a little close, but it is the future. Thank you. That's exactly what I was getting at.
Sorry.
He plays a lot bigger. No. I'm just glad that you did. That was a perfect point. Dynamite drop in, Monty. But all kidding aside, that really is where this draft, I think, is going. And I think that's where the Patriots are going. You look at some of the more speedy teams in the league, and Merck, we've talked about this ad nauseum on Mondays. You look at just in their own division. You look at Josh Allen and the speed that he has and the prowess that he has at the quarterback position. You also look at now Tyreek Hill, and not just Tyreek Hill in Miami, folks. There's a lot of speedy guys out there that can really get the job done. Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, those guys are lightning when they're healthy and they're locked in. You're looking at a running game right now that is going to give the Patriots fits if they don't have someone in the middle that can defend it. And Nakobe Dean is definitely great at that. Devin Lloyd coming out of Utah, I think would be a good solid pick here as well. I would not be dissatisfied with that. We've talked about Jordan Davis, Murph, and I would love to see him in New England.
Right.
Rumors right now, our good friend Mike Giardi of NFL Network reporting, he's likely to go top 10. There's so much uncertainty in this draft, Murph. That makes perfect sense to me. Davis is just the guy that is going to be here for years and years. I mean, he's going to be a surefire star in this league. There were very, very surefire bets, few of them in the draft. And he's definitely one of them. So
he really is.
I understand that. Yeah, I definitely understand that.
He really is. This kid has a football IQ that is completely off the scales. He's somebody that, in years past we've heard that people come in here and on the defensive side as much as the offensive side have a difficult time picking up the playbook. This is a kid that will have the playbook down by day 3.
Yeah,
all right. He
absolutely will.
Okay, he's a complete leader in the clubhouse, in the locker room, and on the field. He's somebody that has played with gone up against the absolute best in college football for the past 3 years. I honestly couldn't pass on him. He had 72 tackles last year, 10.5 sacks, a pick 6. And 2 forced fumbles. This guy has Patriot written all over him. He has Gerard Mayo written all over him in a slightly smaller package. And we all know how well that worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're in good company. ESPN, as opposed, I believe, an AFC scout that went unnamed, but ESPN, Jeremy Fowler had posted a piece in the last couple of days that compared Nakobe Dean to a Gerard Mayo as well.
Yep.
So, this is a really, I think, interesting draft for the New England Patriots. I always stand by my pick. I'm going to stand by it as well. I'm going to say that, the Patriots surprise everybody and then go that route.
Cool.
I happen to think you're probably more right than wrong, that they probably will go the opposite way. You did mention trading down, folks. And Murph and I are going to discuss that trade down in just a moment to wrap things up here on this special edition, condensed edition, because we don't want to take up too much of your time this evening, and we want you to get to that draft coverage the way you want it. However, you do know that as the draft is now here, next thing that's approaching, folks, that's right, Mother's Day. And it's always a good idea to celebrate life special moments with our good friends over at BlueNile.com. They always create the custom jewelry, the custom timeless jewelry pieces at a price that you won't find at a traditional jeweler. Whether your mom prefers a statement piece or an everyday subtle elegance, BlueNile.com has the fine jewelry options for every mom. Shop high-quality classic diamond earrings, elegant tennis bracelets, or gemstone pendant necklaces. This Mother's Day, folks, give mom something she'll treasure forever with fine jewelry from BlueNile.com. And Locked On Patriots listeners get $50 off $500. This podcast exclusive is only good through Mother's Day, so use the promo code Locked On. That's code LOCKEDON. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free this Mother's Day and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today. Patriots fans, again, the time for the talk is just about over. Roger Goodell's ready in that piece. He's getting ready to bring that card right to the podium. Murph, before we wrap things up tonight and we direct everyone to the great draft coverage that's happening over live on the Locked On NFL Draft channel right now, you had mentioned trading down. You had mentioned fortifying the offensive line. I happen to think you might be onto something there. As a matter of fact, our good friend Evan Lazar reported a little after 5 o'clock that the Patriots might be engaging. They might be looking to make a trade down, or there may be teams that might be looking to maybe trade up a little bit. He mentioned the Packers. He mentioned the Cowboys as possibilities, but they may be looking for some Kansas City, and they may be looking for something more aggressive than 21. But sometimes it's just a matter of finding the player you want.
Somewhere.
Absolutely. If the Patriots do it, if they do trade down, I know the fan base is not going to be happy about it, but these things can work to your advantage sometimes. What possibly could be their target? Is this offensive line driven, or are they maybe looking at something else?
It would definitely be offensive line driven. I think Zion Johnson should still be there at this point. Bernard Ryman, the massive human being out of Central Michigan, could still be there. That always works out really well for Bill. But I mean, also, you could see them take a safety here. Lewis Seen out of Georgia could go, and that could also fill what Bill has in store for this part of the draft, and pick up some guys, a few picks later on down, and just don't sleep on Devonta Wyatt slipping down this far. All right, if Wyatt is there at 21, I think Bill would take him and not risk trading back for it. But we all know the talent. We all know what he can do on a football field, and we all know that this team needs their next Vince Wilfork.
Yeah, they do. They really do need that. And, I think that's something that has been unsung. And I want to give my colleague at Sports Illustrated, Kevin Tame, credit for bringing that to my attention early on in this draft. And everybody was getting betwixt and between by the linebackers, you and I as well. And they do need help in that position. And dynamic talent, you'd never pass up. We're always a big believer in that. But one thing that's been the hallmark of Patriots championship teams is strength on the defensive line, especially that front part of it, whether you're playing a 4-3 or really a 3-4, the way the Patriots prefer to play their football. Devonta Wyatt fits that well. Of course, Jordan Davis does too. But, Devonta Wyatt is a great pickup. I would love to see him here next to Christian Barmore. That could be fun to watch for years to come. You mentioned Zion Johnson. I think that is definitely a possibility. You heard it here first, folks. You're probably going to see this on headlines, but remember, you heard it here on Locked On Patriots first. I can see the T-shirts being printed up. The Priory of Zion. What do you think, Murph?
I love it. I love it. love
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are going to like that. We're gonna put that out there, and just I think this has got some strength to it. Watch, they won't pick them now just for that
brilliant.
reason.
Right.
Bill's watching this and going, "No, I don't want that on a
Nah,
T-shirt."
nah,
Nope,
nah, I
that's
don't
it.
want that as a T-shirt. Nope.
All kidding aside, my
Matt
friend.
Patricia would, but not.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I think Matt would wear it. Well, of course, we know Matt's history of wearing T-shirts
Right.
here in New England, folks. I think it endeared him to a lot of Patriots fans, even though there's a lot of vitriol. There's still Patriots fans that appreciate him wearing that T-shirt when he did. But what can I say? The first round is upon us. We are here. It's been a long ride. On a personal note, I truly want to thank you for being
Right.
my co-pilot each and every Monday, for just being a phenomenal, phenomenal talent and giving your wisdom and counsel the way only you can. I want to thank each and every person that took time out of their day, took time out of their schedule to submit a mock draft to Locked On Patriots. You're truly the strength
Brilliant.
of this show,
Brilliant.
folks. You guys were great. Every single one of them hit it out of the park. And by, on behalf of Murph, and I don't think I speak, extemporaneously on him, I really do, appreciate everything and all the support that you've provided, and continue to interact with us. Mock Draft Monday doesn't necessarily mean because it's going away that we can't still interact with our listeners. Murph and I always love hearing it. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a Monday Murph mailbag, and we'll, bring that into fruition. There's the alliteration is endless, and the possibilities are endless, and we're just getting started here on Locked On Patriots. Any parting words before we let our esteemed listeners go today, Murph? Any parting draft wisdom?
Yeah, just remember, folks, this is also what I've been hearing week. Okay, you take that with a grain of salt. A lot of people, are putting stuff out there to hope and hopefully drive some people down in the draft process, not as human beings, but this injury and that, and why didn't they work out longer, and why weren't they at the combine type of thing. Don't read too much into that. Really don't. Take it with a grain of salt. Sit back and enjoy your night. And if the Patriots do go with a big fat guy, go out and order his freaking jersey.
Absolutely. And hey, who knows? Maybe a Priory of Sion jersey.
There you go.
All right. I'm sorry, folks. I promise I'll stop.
No, that's okay.
But great. All I can thank you for is everything that you do here, bud. I mean, really, if nothing short of remarkable, nothing short of my eternal gratitude for you joining me each and every Monday, and that will continue, folks. But now it is time to stay tuned and get ready to hear what the Patriots are going to do, what all of 32 NFL teams are going to do. The NFL draft coverage kicks off, and it is the best time of year for a football fan, folks. Now that you've absorbed my man's wisdom and counsel here on Locked On Patriots, please head over to the Locked On NFL YouTube page for our live coverage of the NFL draft. We'll be live all throughout the draft, covering every round, every pick. Amazing studio setup. Really kudos to the Locked On team for putting this together. Just a great time. And anytime you need that type of analysis, folks, you know where to find it. In the meantime, continue to stay locked into Locked On Patriots by smashing that subscribe button on YouTube, downloading, subscribe to, and following the Locked On Patriots podcast on platforms such as Spotify, the Odyssey app, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Just thank you for staying locked into Locked On Patriots. I'm Mike Debate on behalf of the great green man himself, Thomas Murphy. Enjoy the NFL draft. Enjoy round one. We'll be back here tomorrow breaking down all of day one and really previewing day two. Until then, folks, stay safe and well and have a great evening.
And whatever the Jets do is wrong.
When you're a Jet all the way, right?
Jet all the way.